Status Quo's Francis Rossi reflects on death of bandmate Rick Parfitt. Paramedics should have stopped trying to save a dying Rick Parfitt, his bandmate Francis Rossi tells Sky News. Francis Rossi admits he's not shed any tears for his Status Quo partner Rick Parfitt, who died on Christmas Eve. But in an exclusive interview with Sky News, Rossi defended himself against claims that he treated Parfitt unfairly in the final months of his life. Parfitt, a rock guitarist, died from an infection 6 months after surviving a major heart attack. However, Rossi, who watched paramedics trying to resuscitate him last June, said they should not have fought so hard to save his life. Talking in the recording studio at his home, Rossi admitted their relationship had become strained in recent years. "People think I hated Rick. We got fractious between us at times, and he could be a pest, but he was my best friend for a long, long time. There were times when we would still sit together and we'd laugh and we'd joke. But he said their comedy double act on TV was a facade. They would spend less and less time together, and there were arguments about Parfitt's drinking. He was desperate, trying to be this rock person, to live up to that image. It wasn't who Rick was at all." Because of Parfitt's health problems, Status Quo seemed to be heading for retirement. They started performing acoustic sets, and a final tour called The Last Night of the Electrics was planned. But in June 2016, shortly after a concert in Turkey, Parfitt suffered a major heart attack in his hotel room. The rest of the band witnessed paramedics fighting to resuscitate him, and Rossi was horrified. "I know what I feel for Rick inside. That's when it hurt. That's when I should have stopped them. I wanted them to leave him alone. They were physically hurting him, and if you saw the state he was in and what they were doing to his body, I wanted to hurt the people who did that." When asked whether he wishes Parfitt had died that night, Rossi said, "No, that's a thing a journalist would get me saying on camera. He was dead as far as I was concerned." He said that in the weeks after Parfitt regained consciousness, he had mental problems and thought he was back in the 1980s. Parfitt agreed he wasn't well enough to continue playing in the band, and revealed he was quitting in a Sky News interview in September. 3 months later, complications from a shoulder injury led to an infection which spread quickly. He died in a Spanish hospital on Christmas Eve. Rossi admits the death came as a shock. "But once you get over that shock, do you shed tears?" I asked. "No. People will be surprised at that, Francis," I said. "I didn't cry when my mother died. I didn't cry when my father died. For me, Parfitt died in Turkey." Some fans have criticized Rossi for failing to pay tribute to Parfitt during concerts since his death, but he said, "I don't believe in opening up a show saying it's really, really sad tonight that Rick's not going to be here. I'm digging a hole for myself." "But some fans want that," I said. "They're not getting that from me. I'm sorry if that upsets them, I really am. I'm just not like that." Rossi said the band paid for Parfitt's body to be flown home, and for his funeral. "There were such squabbles within his family. Let's not go there, it's kind of ugly. I just wanted to get over it and bury my partner and get on with it." Status Quo have now shelved retirement plans, with Irish guitarist Richie Malone replacing Parfitt. Extra concerts have been announced, and an album and video will be released of the new lineup in concert, recorded shortly before Parfitt died. Rossi said he was enjoying playing as much as ever. "I'm not saying it's better or worse. It's different. Now, some Quo fans don't want to know about different, but I'm enthused again." Rossi said if he had been the one to die first, Parfitt would have wanted the show to go on.